Welcome back to 404 News, where we bring you local and international news in easy mode. First news. In Greece, Milas ruler said he was shocked and disappointed that people continue to support individuals who have been convicted by the courts of serious corruption offenses. He urged those who continue to support corrupt individuals to reflect on their faith, principles, and values, stressing that tolerance for corruption is unacceptable in a nation governed by the rule of law. So, who exactly was he referring to? Recently, there seems to be only one individual who has been convicted of serious corruption and still enjoys substantial public support. Do you know who he is?
Who's that Pokemon?
Because I certainly don't. Umno recently held its National General Assembly. During the assembly, Umno President Dato Seri Zahid Hamidi delivered a speech addressing growing questions, both from within the party and from outside, about the stance of Umno's leadership, while also clearly outlining the party's direction.
Kita tidak pernah mengorbankan manifestasi perjuangan parti kita. Malah, no Anwar, no DAP. Suatu ketika dulu menjadi mantra untuk menggambarkan seolah-olah kita mencabuli keputusan yang dibuat di dalam Perhimpunan Agung UMNO. Sedangkan keputusan no Anwar, no DAP, no Bersatu dibuat sebagai pendirian untuk kita bergerak secara solo pada PRU ke-15 yang lalu. Hakikatnya, kita mengambil keputusan bersama kerajaan hari ini setelah ada pihak yang menolak titah yang di Pertuan Agong supaya dibentuk kerajaan perpaduan sesama mereka.
UMNO reiterated that its decision to cooperate with DAP was made in response to the Agon's call, in order to prevent the country from falling into prolonged political instability. In order to save Malaysia, UMNO will continue to support the government led by Anwar Ibrahim and will not engage in any backdoor move that could undermine the government. This statement was mainly meant to send a signal of stability to the public and coalition partners, showing that UMNO is, for now, prioritizing political order and national stability. However, Zahid also stressed that continued support for the unity government comes with red line. So what are these red lines? They include no marginalization or humiliation. UMNO insists it is a key pillar of the unity government, not a party to be used, sacrificed, or treated like a mere curry leaf. If UMNO's influence is continuously weakened, that crosses the red line.
Namun, UMNO bukan parti tempelan atau pelengkap kepada mana-mana gabungan. Jangan ingat UMNO parti kari pulih, parti daun kari. Bila nak masak, daun kari itu masuk dalam kuali. Bila dihidang, dikuis ke tepi. Barang harus diingat, UMNO adalah tiang steri kepada kerajaan perpaduan yang ada sekarang.
Core Malay, Bumi Putra, issues cannot be crossed. On fundamental matters involving the Malays, Islam, the monarchy, and the constitutional structure, UMNO will not make concessions just to remain in government.
UMNO tetap setia kepada perjanjian. UMNO menghormati semangat kerjasama. UMNO berpegang teguh kepada keputusan kolektif yang dimeterai bersama. Namun, jangan diusik-usik perasaan kita. Jangan simbah minyak di api yang sedang marah. Kesabaran UMNO ada batasnya. Jangan diuji-uji, jangan diusik-usik.
One of the most toxic relationships in Malaysian politics has to be the one between MCA, MIC, and UMNO. Barisan Nasional, the long-ruling coalition made up of UMNO, MCA, and MIC, once dominated Malaysia's political landscape for decades. But as BN's influence steadily declined, non-Malay voters were the first to walk away, and the hardest hit were MCA and MIC, whose support bases continued to fall year after year. This long-term decline made MCA and MIC parties UMNO could do without. Or worse, parties not even worth respecting. Akmal once mocked MIC for flip-flopping on whether it should leave BN, saying its stance was as unstable as someone who was drunk. Zahid, years ago, even outright scolded MCA as being useless thing.
Itulah majlis macam ini, majlis yang penting. Sibuk mana sangat jadi pemimpin, kursi nak, majlis tak datang. Saya gunakan bahasa Negeri Sembilan, hampir.
Emotional damage.
As BN grew weaker, MCA repeatedly threatened to leave the coalition, while MIC went as far as saying it might join another alliance altogether. At that point, the relationship looked beyond repair, especially after UMNO began cooperating with DAP, which pushed MCA and Mike even further to the sidelines. And yet, at the UMNO General Assembly, we saw the classic, please don't leave, drama play out once again.
Sedangkan lidah lagi terkikir. Ini pula adik-beradik. Kita sambutlah. Jangan buat macam-macam. Kita dakaplah balik sesama sendiri. Berajuklah tak apa. Berajuk sekejap lah. Marilah kita balik. Dakaplah kita. Tapi janganlah merajuk lagi. Kita pun tak larat nak pujuk. Balik ke sini, duduk kat rumah besar ni, kita sama-samalah, kita rakyat Malaysia, kita sahabat dalam Barisan Nasional.
We are the founding party of PN. So that the founding party is still there. Right? Ini soal tidak wujud sebab Barisan Nasional ini ditubuhkan berlandaskan kepada semangat perikatan ini. Jadi kita sama-sama mengasaskan parti itu. Jadi soal ini tidak wujud pun.
Why does this sound like the fluttering heartbeat of a teenage girl in love? Is this what people mean by a friendship stronger than romance? Still kinda toxic, by the way. The so-called placation felt like sweet-talking a first wife, telling her not to worry about a prettier second wife. MCA and MIC were clearly not treated as equals. But hey, I guess when you're family, it's all forgiven. After all, MCA didn't seem to mind, right?
Jadi soal ini tidak wujud pun. Setakat ini.
After a DAP leader posted what many saw as a clearly insulting message, Akmal called an UMNO youth meeting to discuss whether to leave the unity government. The conclusion? Leave the government. UMNO's leadership, however, rejected the idea.
No.
Soon after, Akmal posted on Facebook hinting that he might step down, sounding disappointed and worn out. At the recent UMNO General Assembly, he officially announced that he was resigning as a Malacca State Executive Councillor. But to be clear, he is still a Malacca State Assemblyman, and still the UMNO Youth Chief. Why resigning? At first, many thought it was because he loudly called for UMNO to quit the government, only to be shut down by party leaders. He even wrote that he had done his best, and if that was still not enough, maybe the problem was himself, and maybe it was time to step aside. Naturally, people assumed this was a sign of discouragement. Some even speculated he might resign from all posts, leave UMNO, or even join PAS. But at the UMNO Assembly, his resignation did not look like giving up. It looked like a move to go even further. Anyway, let's hear his own explanation.
Dengan ini, saya meletakkan jawatan saya sebagai Esko Kerajaan Negeri Melaka berkuat kuasa pada minggu hadapan. Tapi, kalau ada orang yang cakap dengan saya lari dari perjuangan, saya nak beritahu, tidak sama sekali saya tinggalkan pemuda UMNO pada hari ini. Saya nak bagi tahu kepada yang tanya, lu siapa?
Lu siapa?
Saya nak jawab.
Lu siapa?
Saya nak jawab.
Lu siapa?
Gua ada maruah. Lu ada maruah ke tidak? Tapi disebabkan tanggungjawab saya, disebabkan prinsip saya, disebabkan maruah tuan-tuan, saya berani menyatakan saya letakkan jawatan saya sebagai exco untuk lawan DAP habis-habisan. Pemuda, jangan sesekali gentar kerana kita boleh berkawan. Tetapi kalau kamu sentuh agama kami, kamu sentuh bangsa kami, kamu sentuh raja-raja kami, mari sini kau berhadapan dengan pemuda Umno-Mca.
Summary. DAP, 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 DAP. Defend Umno.
No.
Defend the Malays. Defend the monarchy. Doesn't this sound a little contradictory? Then Mca ruler said he was shocked and disappointed that people continue to support individuals who have been convicted by the courts of serious corruption offenses. He urged those who continue to support corrupt individuals to reflect on their faith, principles, and values, stressing that tolerance for corruption is unacceptable in a nation governed by the rule of law. Wouldn't this clash with Akmal's claim of defending the monarchy and Umno? If he doesn't protest, does that mean he failed to defend Umno? But if he protests, who exactly is he protesting against? It's quite obvious that the Mca ruler was criticizing Najib and his supporters. After all, the only person recently convicted of serious corruption is Najib, and the one with the most loyal supporters is also Najib. Umno, top to bottom, still looks firmly supportive, insisting he is innocent and must be saved. When the celebration post came out, Akmal went straight to her service center to protest. So, does that mean this time he's going to protest in front of the... Anyway, while this resignation may look like he lost a valuable executive post, what he gained is something bigger, political capital and visibility. He has successfully positioned himself as the last warrior in Umno that refuses to go along with DAP. On top of that, Akmal continues attacking DAP while repeatedly stressing the need for Malay unity, and calling once again for cooperation with PAS. PAS Youth's chief even posted, "You are not alone." Truly touching brotherhood. An event called Glamping with Pride, planned by the LGBTQ group Jajaka in Hulu Langat, faced strong opposition as soon as it was known to be related to LGBTQ. The Selangor Sultan and the state government both firmly opposed the event and urged relevant authorities to take action. But the organizers insisted on continuing the event, saying the event did not break any laws. However, just recently, the organizers officially announced that the event was cancelled. They claimed that the cancellation had nothing to do with breaking the law, and not because authorities stopped it, but because the organizers received clear and credible death threats. In their statement, they also said that, after the issue became widely discussed, interest in the event did not decrease. In fact, participation grew, from 14 people to around 50. The organizers added that, LGBTQ people exist everywhere. They are not outsiders, and not a threat. They are also Malaysians, protected under the federal constitution, and deserve the right to live safely and with dignity. First of all, I believe that most Malaysians do not support LGBTQ, especially within the Muslim community. However, there is one thing I agree with the organizers. Malaysia is still a democratic country governed by law, and I do not agree with death threat. People can report to the police. They can make TikTok videos to criticize and scold. They can even organize protests, which is exactly what Perkasa is doing on Friday. All of that is still within the system. But once things escalate to death threats, that is far too serious. I know some people may feel that such behavior is inhuman, or even worse than animals, and that these people no longer deserve to be treated as human. But deciding who is human and who is not a power we should casually take. If today, any group can decide on its own who deserves protection as a human being, and who deserves to die, then what kind of society are we becoming?
Oh my God!
Let us stay rational, leave the investigation to the authorities, and let the law decide the punishment. This has nothing to do with LGBTQ issues, it is purely a matter of procedural justice. Thanks for watching. See you next week.